It's day 2, folks, here at the 25th anniversary of the Las Vegas Challenge, proudly supported by Innova. It's been one of the flagship events for them for many years. And a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. If you would like to help support our coverage, please head over to our Patreon account. We have a lot of great tiers. I'm Derek Scull. Beside me, we have Chris German. We are Gatekeeper. Chris and I are the owners of Gatekeeper. How you feeling, bud?
I feel good. A lot of video experience in this booth right now. We have Gannon Buhr, who shot the heater round 1 in the 1080s. I believe a 1086 rated round at 12 down on the Millennium course. And then Calvin Heimburg tied up with Isaac and Nick Newton, new face on our coverage here at the Innova course.
Yeah, so hole 1, par 3, 353 foot. Really just going to have a couple options here. You're going to see a lot of forehands play kind of into these hills here. A lot of OB to contend with. And the mound that the basket sits on can be quite treacherous. So Gannon coming off of the Scorcher, like you said, setting the course record for Millennium, previously held by Eagle McMahon, set in 2021. There are a few changes, and the course is a little harder now, so.
Yeah, it looks like it was 1086. I just wanted to double check on that. In the Innova course, we've known to see some really good scores come out here, especially when the wind is down, and today is absolutely perfect conditions.
Yep, that checks up well in the circle. Uphill putt.
Next on the tee pad, shooting a 50, Calvin Heimburg.
You have OB on the cart path on the right. That does come into play, can come into play. So if there's a place to miss, it's definitely down to the left. Just give yourself an uphill putt.
And as we know, Calvin cannot be slept on either. Shooting what I believe was a 10 down day 1.
He's going to turn that over right to that cart path.
Hitting the signage, and I think he slides back into bounds.
Wow.
Also shooting a day 150, Nick Newton.
Oh, that's incredible. Nick, new face to the coverage. Team Prodigy.
From Tulsa, or I'm sorry, not Tulsa, Tucson, Arizona. He seems to have a lot of support here at this event, so that's good to see. Going wide hyzer. Nestles up nicely under that tree on the hillside.
Not least, also shooting a day 150, Isaac Robinson.
Our 2023 world champion, Isaac Robinson. 10 under as well, so. That looks a little left. Nope, never mind.
But it is a little long, putting him outside the circle. Yeah, he will be first up.
Close to 40 feet or so.
And this is the dangerous hillside that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Boy, that was
brutal. That was one of the worst ones I've seen on this hole. This course is definitely known for some big rollaways. You can see it on 10. There's a couple other holes. 4. So, Isaac is going to unfortunately miss that. So he's going to go birdie to bogey. Nick grabs his birdie.
Yeah, birdogey, as they say. Calvin there with the great reaction off of the course signage. Little low, and he's catching edge too.
Wow.
I'd say that might be worse than Isaac's.
What is going on right now?
And as you can see, not really much movement on the flag above the basket.
I think that one stayed up there.
So we got a slow start here for half the card.
Gannon for his birdie. What is going on?
All right, that one's not so bad.
This might be a record for the most feet of rolled away disc on a hole. Wow, 3 players on our card. Missing the putt and rolling away.
Gannon, the only one able to save the par from that reaction.
Man, I feel like we're in some weird twilight zone. That was a weird hole.
Well, luckily it's early on, and we have plenty of time to shake it off.
Yeah. Simon always says, every good round starts with a bogey. So we're going to move in the hole 2, probably one of the most technical shots on the course. 310 feet. Putter or mid-range, something that's going to slide up, a very low ceiling, so you just kind of want to throw it hard. This hole's, I think the basket's been moved to the right just slightly over the years, but same shot shape that we've seen.
I would say traditionally we are also here at the beginning of the season in years past, and this year the foliage is a little bit more robust. Nice check up there with the ground play, forcing it a little left in that bush under kind of an overhanging branch, but well within range.
Yeah, basket does actually look like it's in the same spot, so.
Perfect line.
Wow.
And see with that line, like it's a very hard ace for an air shot, just because he needed to throw that a little higher to be right on target, but the ceiling doesn't really allow for that.
Early left from Calvin there. So no bounce back for him unless we see a throw in. Good skip for Isaac. A little short, though. And I would say that's pretty common. We see that maybe 40 to 50 feet right there in circle 2.
Nice anti-skip there.
Good scramble for Calvin. Should be looking at his par. And Isaac going to lay that one up.
Gannon from a knee.
Oh, jeez.
Hitting slightly left.
Good start there for Nick. It's going to put him in a tie for first.
All right, and as we jump into hole 3, 260-foot par 3, first water hazard to deal with for the event, or for the course rather. You just want to swing something a little on the wider side, shorter, to allow it to check up. There is a drop zone placed directly on the opposite side of the water hazard.
Yeah, and this path comes in quickly.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a circle's edge look for his par save. Unless he does move. I don't know if everyone moves to the drop zone, actually. I guess we'll find out.
And this is definitely a test of speed and distance control, because like we saw on the first shot, a little too much goes out of bounds. And if you finish off a little too early, you're in the tree or water hazard.
Great shot there from Calvin.
And again, not really used to seeing it so grown in either.
That needs to slow down.
Does it roll back in?
Oh.
Lost traction.
Oh, man. It looks like you do have to go from the drop zone off of any OB stroke. Not just if you find the water. Got to throw a touch shot here because that OB right behind the basket inside the circle.
Flirting with it again.
Oh, no. Slow start here for Calvin.
All right, solid connection there from Gannon. Nice birdie.
Man, it is so calm there right now. Much different conditions than day one, so I guess this time of the year it's hit or miss. Not the start these guys want to see.
You want a new disc, but you're overwhelmed by all of the options. Well, we've got you covered. Meet the Innova Pathfinder Guides, a series of graphics that match a set of discs for your style of play, curated by our own Riley O'Neill and Eric Schwann. Whether you're the beginner, the crusher, or anywhere in between, we've got a lineup for you. So scan the QR code, find a guide that matches your style of play, and discover your path to a better game. If you haven't seen these, you're missing out. All right, back to the action.
All right, moving in the hole 4, 422 feet, par 3. Have this hillside that you got to get over. It's basically a blind shot. All you see is the flag. Then we have this green with the OB right behind the basket, and another green that could pose a rollaway threat that we saw, similar to hole 1. Looks good from Gannon.
Yeah, it looks to be tracking great. Actually, a little earlier than I thought.
Yeah, it'll be about circle's edge, putting for birdie.
Something we see a lot with Calvin is he really tries to go right over those mounds when we see them pop up on these courses. Flat.
If that hooks up, that should be a good shot there from Nick.
And that's the side you'd like to be putting from. Another line drive here, just slightly early.
Yeah, it's pretty common. We see that a lot. This kind of just landing in that circle 2 range over here on the left.
And as you can see from this angle, the slope behind the pin is a little bit more than if you were to be where Nick found himself, playing a little bit more, but pretty sharp drop off behind the pin into the OB cart path as well. So seeing a little more movement from the wind on this hole. Solid connection.
Good putt, Calvin. That's exactly what he needed. Get that birdie. Get into a couple more easy holes. Grab birdies there. Maybe even an eagle. And you could be off to the races at that point. So Nick Just inside. Oh no.
There's that rollaway you mentioned.
Luckily, it's not too bad. Not as drastic as hole one. Hole one is brutal.
Yeah, and he went unscathed on hole one, so I guess this is the course making sure he knows.
Yeah, it's got to be even for everyone. We're all playing the same game.
Pretty sharp tailwind for Nick.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think he just overcompensated for that a tad too much. Gets banded.
Gannon's got 2 now. Had a bogey-free round 1. So yet to take any red. And Nick giving back those early birdies.
All right, hole 5, 642-foot par 4. You're going to want to swing something and kind of land generally about where the drone just passed OB golf green short. Another drastic rollaway OB cart path. You want to swing an Anheuser shot as a righty.
Yeah, as long as you miss that tree over there, I would say you want to be a little more left. You don't want to get pinched over there to the right. That might be a little bit of a trickier angle for Gannon.
Yeah, you risk the golf green from that angle a little bit more. But essentially, as long as you're center fairway past that tree that we're seeing our first 2 players kind of toy around with, that's kind of the sweet spot.
Yeah, I like this change that they made a couple years ago. In previous years, they had the basket back behind that green. Still got a lot of OB strokes from people finding the OB right behind the basket, but it was still a pretty easy hole overall, where I do think this green just adds a little more challenge for that second shot. Doesn't allow you to kind of crash over there to that left side, where in the past you would just land up onto the wall that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeps you a little honest on this second shot.
And with this cluster of trees here on the right as well.
This is a good hole. This is moving. He needs to slow down. Oh.
Oh, yeah. And if you've been following LVC for some time, you know that these courses are no stranger to flocks of geese. So something else to be aware of as you're playing too.
You mess around, you find out. This needs to slow down too. Wow.
Aired out across the path.
Man, these guys must have had their spinach. Had to throw at least one corny joke in.
I was expecting Wheaties, but
I was going to say Wheaties, but for some reason I had Popeye in my mind. But it's not a great roll away there either. Kind of pushing him to the circle's edge.
great par save from Nick.
Yeah, still does it in 3. Let's see if Isaac can do the same.
Not quite.
And whoa. All right.
It's still going.
This is messed up.
The importance of throwing flat.
Well, that's just hitting the basket, just putting it right on its side. Nice birdie there for Calvin. Gannon just inside 20.
Like to see it. Got ourselves a turkey for the round.
No spinach for Gannon.
All entree, no sides.
That's going to bring us to hole 6, the shortest hole in the course, 222 feet, par 3. No stranger to this hole if you've seen coverage in the past. Just all about speed, angle control, nice and flat. I'm going to throw it right on the front of this hillside. Scoot right on up.
Yeah, this hole is the reason you want to buy into the ace pot here.
Yeah.
So I would say just about every year produces at least one.
Never had one on our coverage, though.
No, but I hope maybe that changes this weekend.
And that should scoot on up. OB does come into play behind the basket if you pump it too hard, but this guy's all doing a great job. Good shot there from Isaac. Everyone's in the circle. Gannon, though. Scary, scary putt. He gets it. Filling that scorecard with green. It's always the risk of landing kind of this open side here. Death Putt City. We have seen plenty go into the water over the years. Calvin's starting to string them together as well.
Calvin was tired of just the sides.
Good birdie there for Nick. Gets him back in the under par category as Isaac. 3 over. Gets him down to 2.
We got the diamond. All right, as we jump back into hole 7, 417-foot par 4, famously known for Garrett Gurthey's Albatross Ace. You got OB, golf green, short, sand hazard on the left and the right, cart path as well. I would say that to some of the players on tour, they would argue that this is one of the softer par 4s. If you have the distance, you can just hammer your drive right into the sand trap and have a birdie putt.
That's looking good from Gannon.
As we see here, bullseye for the eagle.
There it is.
Yeah, and I really think that they don't really stress this that much because they know if it rolls into the hazard, even just on the edge, you're not losing strokes.
Calvin definitely has that distance to go for it as well. And that he does. And this looks pretty good as well. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. About 20 feet or so. There is a hillside on the back, so the putt might be a little scary, but should be no issue for him. So this needs to scoot on up from Nick. Oh, get down.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and you can hear him in the background say, I'm all right with that.
Yeah. This hole can run away from you, though. You start playing with that hazard. Next thing you know, you miss your putt, and you end up in the hazard on the other side. So this is going to find the hazard as well.
So close to staying safe.
Like this, right? This is tough. The wind starts picking up. And yeah, layup from Isaac. So if you miss that putt, you end up in the other hazard. You're ping-ponging.
Yeah, smart play there. But again, even with the layup, you're not losing strokes.
No, this hole actually surprisingly came in pretty tough. It played over par. Gannon with his eagle as well. So 2 of the 11 eagles on the day happening on our card, but a lot of separation here. I mean, saw some bogeys, some double bogeys. Came .16 over par. So we're going to move to another very tough hole. Hole 8, par 3, 467 feet. This one's tough. You have the OB path behind the basket. You're not going to see a lot of park jobs on this hole, I don't think. A lot of people kind of fade out over there to the right side. It's more of a, not a bailout, but cuts some of the distance off. Keeps the cart path kind of out of play. Like this right here is, I mean, that's very good. But anywhere from there to like another 60 feet short is kind of what we see.
You want to find the dirt, like the open dirt.
The backhand line is nice, but it brings in the cart path, and that's a crush. It's going to be OB there for Calvin.
It does appear that they pushed the tee pad back this year. As in previous years, it was closer to the edge there.
Oh, nice shot there from Nick.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Favorable tree there.
Man. Still a very dialed bid from Calvin.
Gannon hanging around circle's edge.
Airballs it.
It goes OB.
Yeah.
Oh, uncharacteristic there from Gannon.
And so when this happened, Gannon did take the time to examine both lies, because if you go OB, you can play from previous lie. So that's why it's really important to know the rules, folks, because sometimes if you're playing it from where you went out, you're giving yourself a worse position when you could just try to make that putt again.
And that is the first bogey for Gannon this tournament. Still has a couple strokes on the rest of the card, but see how he responds. Nick grabbing himself another birdie. Isaac with easier birdie. This came in as a pretty tough hole. You saw a quarter of the birdies right here. There was only 8 on the day. This came in .31 over par. So playing pretty tough.
All right, and as we wrap up our front 9 with a 651-foot par 4, a lot of trees short off the tee pad to beat. You want to really just throw one pretty much dead straight and let it finish a little further left so that you have an opening there. You got the sand trap to deal with. You got the cart path to deal with.
Yeah, you definitely want this to finish left. Your second shot can get a little tricky if you're too far right, if you push it too straight.
Yeah, where Nick shot, honestly, like if it had kept that clear line, that would have been a great landing zone. Isaac going a little lower.
Like this looks good though. Just get it right out in the open. It's all about the second shot. They moved the pin a couple years ago, and since moving it, I think they found a sweet spot for it. You have that bunker, hazard bunker right in front of it. Then you have the sloping hill right into the cart path with OB. So very, very dangerous green. But stock shots here from these guys. Just get it out there.
Real high shot there from Calvin. Yeah, that's not an ideal angle here for Nick.
Good news is there's no OB to the left, so you can kind of bail out, throw it longer and left, but then, you know, just like that. But then from there, I mean, you're basically laying up. You just take your 4. Get down. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
it's that.
That hit the tree, right?
It did.
Oh, wow.
I think maybe without that tree, might have been a little too far.
This needs to, and it does. Good shot there from Gannon. This looks good from Calvin. Yep. All right, good work by our card here.
Yeah, I like the idea of playing a little shorter, allowing the skip to go uphill so that it kind of takes a little bit of the momentum off of it.
And you just give yourself a putt like this. Gannon for the bounce back.
Love to see it.
Yeah, 6 under through 9. So even with the bogey, putting up a really good score and separating himself from the card. So Isaac fights his way all the way back to even to finish out this front 9. Way to keep your head down.
Yeah, champion mentality.
Exactly. Calvin with his bounce back as well. Very weird start to the round. Good way to finish it, though.
Yeah, I really have not seen anything like that before, but I'm glad we were able to show everybody.
All right, that's going to be it. We're going to take a look at the scores across the field as well. See if anyone can keep up with Gannon, as Emerson on chase card, as well as Connor, Casey. So a couple hot scores coming in on these good conditions. So that's going to finish us out for this round 2 front 9. Any last thoughts?
I would just like to take another moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters. And again, if you would like to support us in making more videos like this, please head over to our Patreon and consider supporting today.